pulled back. You've got
this
pressure
is getting pushed out.
Yeah, you've got pressure here. Then you've got pressure here from the arms, and so you really, it's easy to suffocate someone like that.
So I mean, that alone shouldn't have happened.
Goes back to what we've said on here 1,000 times.
Better training.
Yep.
And if you defund the police, the first thing they're going to do is take away their damn training.
You know what? And
you think it's bad now.
And their body cameras, and
they won't be able to afford all that shit.
Yeah. See, all of these people that are screaming defund the police, here's something they need to listen to, and you need to listen fucking close. The fear of law enforcement and the fear of jail time is the only thing that keeps us from putting criminals down hard as soon as we see them. That's it. That's all. If there's no police and you try to carjack someone, you better be ready for a bullet in the face. If there's no police and you cut someone off in traffic, you need to be ready for a gunfight. You know, that's the only thing that keeps us civilized is the fear of law enforcement. So, and if you take that away, it's not going to go the way you think. But anyway, so there was all of that.
So I think this is a good... I can't think of her name. Someone's going to have to look it up. The 16-year-old...
Segue?
Yeah, Segue.
Yeah.
Into the 16-year-old.
What was her name?
Micaiah...
Micaiah something.
Bryant. Micaiah Bryant.
Yeah, that's
it.
I don't
That's
understand.
been another hot button crime.
I do not understand how people can be mad.
Well, let's tell everybody what. So here's what happened. And this is the facts as they are at on April 25th of the year of our Lord 2021. Micaiah Bryant, who was 16 years old,
in foster care.
Well, I've also heard two different stories. They've got a second story has come out.
So the foster mom was at work. It was her birthday or something like that.
Well, that's not the original story.
Micaiah's or the mom's?
The original story was Micaiah was at home and a group of girls were coming over to jump her. That's the original story.
And that turned out to be a lie.
Okay.
Now
I haven't heard that.
Oh yeah, that was not what happened.
I think this came from the mom. It was her birthday, and she had like ex-foster children, and
so they were having like a party.
Yeah.
The mom was still at work, but people were over at the house, and a fight broke out about chores.
Okay.
And they were telling Micaiah, "Mom doesn't like a dirty house. You need to do this. You need to do that," and it got out of hand.
Okay.
Well, let me say this then. The video that's been released.
Hard to argue with
starts with the officer pulling up.
Yeah, because it's dash cam or body cam footage.
The first thing you see is Micaiah with a knife in her hand.
Big old kitchen knife.
Looks like a kitchen
shoving
knife,
a girl to the ground.
Yep.
There is a man, boy. I mean, it's a big person.
That's a foster
I've heard
dad.
it was the father. I don't know that it was the father.
Kicking the girl on the ground.
In the back of the head.
Hard.
Okay. The next thing Micaiah does is charge at another girl with the knife in her hand.
Raised in the air.
The knife is pulled back to make a strike. She's got the girl pinned against the car.
Yeah.
And in less time than it has taken for us to explain it, the cop pulled up, saw all of this, and popped her 4 times.
But it is important to note that the cop, because the video starts with him in the car, so he's coming up, he's seeing this.
This shit is already in the middle of it
He's seeing
happening.
her shove another girl.
He sees the girl hit the ground. Then
sees somebody start kicking the girl.
He jumps out. He says, "Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it." He says it 4 times.
Because Micaiah has this big-ass kitchen knife.
Yeah, it's a big, it's not...
it's not a little, it's a big
It looks like a
knife.
chef's knife.
And then she charges another girl.
With the knife pulled back, ready
And
to
this
stab.
girl wasn't even doing anything. She's standing next to a car, and I think someone said she was holding a little dog.
Yeah, she was...
And in one of the videos, you can actually hear Micaiah say, "I'm going to stab the fuck out of you."
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't heard that.
It doesn't surprise me because, like I said,
She is the aggressor.
You see her pulled back. You see the knife in her hand. She's got her other arm on this woman's body, holding her in place, and the cop is screaming, "Drop it, drop it, drop it." And I don't know how many videos I've seen with people talking about this, where they say Micaiah was shot and had already dropped the knife.
Bullshit.
That is not fucking true.
That
I've watched it, and I've watched
so close to that girl before she was shot.
The cop, I hate it that this 16-year-old's dead.
Well,
but this 16-year-old is dead because of her own actions.
Yeah, I hate it as much as I hate it when anybody else dies.
Right.
But she was going to kill that girl.
She was going to take at least one other life if the cop hadn't acted.
Yeah, at
that
least
cop was
one.
in a no-win situation.
I don't understand how people are so mad that a person, I'm not even going to say a girl, a person who was about to possibly murder another person was shot dead by the police.
Yeah, when you go to kill someone, there. Like I put this on Facebook.
But Amber, she was an honor roll student, this and that.
Oh,
she was a perfect little
and I've already
angel.
heard
I mean, good God,
the racist thing. I'm like, if he was racist, he wouldn't give a shit if she stabbed another black girl.
Yeah, really.
He wasn't.
And then
he didn't shoot her.
She's the one that called 911. Was there a giant sign above her head that the cop was supposed to know that?
And even if she was the one that called 911,
she was the aggressor.
If she felt like her life was in danger and she had the knife to hold people off, which, by the way, I'm not saying was the case. I'm just saying
she was.
That's why I know, Chris, if she's holding people, she'd have been like this, like, stay away from me.
No, she was going after people.
She was attacking.
She would have dropped it. She was actively attacking.
And here's the deal. Let's say all three of you are coming at me, and I've got this kitchen knife to protect myself. Okay, cop pulls up. It's over. Mm-hmm. The cop will take care of you three. Drop the fucking knife.
Yeah.
And
don't start attacking somebody else.
And she didn't give a shit that the cop was there.
No,
it didn't even.
I don't even know if she had registered.
Then here's the thing:
because you don't see her react.
If you are going to go after someone to attempt to mortally wound them, you need to keep in mind there's a 50% chance.
What the fuck do you think's going to happen?
There's a 50% chance that's not going to go your way.
Well, the basic definition of using deadly force, as far as a police officer is concerned, is to protect himself
or another life.
Person.
Yeah, and that's
so he
exactly
was
what he did.
Justified.
He saved at least one girl's life.
Probably two. Maybe more. You don't know because she was she was just completely enraged,
like you said,
in a frenzy.
I don't think she ever realized the cop was there because she never looked up. She never paused.
She was so intent on.
She went from here to here to here.
She was just in a rage, and I don't know if she had that was a normal state for her. I don't know if she was on it. It really ultimately doesn't matter. She was in the process of trying to physically harm and possibly take a life, and so her life was forfeited. And I hate it. I hate it like fucking hell. But she
did that to herself.
Set those events in motion. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know what happened to start everything, but she picked up a deadly weapon.
Mm-hmm. And all of this could have been avoided if she'd have just said, "You're right, I'll pick up the kitchen."
Or whatever.
She could have locked herself in the bathroom, called the police, and fucking stayed there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, I actually got called a racist on TikTok because I was like, wait a minute. Now, I'm the first to say when I see a problem, I will stand up and say I saw a problem. But you need to watch this video yourself and not just assume that what people are telling you is true, because I've watched 3 or 4 videos, this being one of them, that said that the girl had already dropped her knife. And
Bullshit.
I'm telling you, I saw the video myself.
Yeah, you can see in the body cam footage. You can clearly see the knife in her hand when she gets shot.
She was inches away from burying that knife in that girl.
And I mean, like we said, this was a big knife.
If that cop would have waited a split second later, when she started with the forward momentum on that knife, it still might not have saved the girl.
If he had hit her after.
And I saw fucking idiots talking about, well, why didn't he just shoot the knife out of her hand? What kind of anti-Oakley bullshit do you feel like fucking teaching in the police academy?
Is he like a trick shooter?
I tell you what, if he tried to shoot the knife out of her hand, he would have probably hit the girl in the head.
Yeah, and then people are like, well, why didn't he taser? Tasers don't work that well, and especially not at that
Which
that
one
distance.
did you read that, like, teenage girls have been fighting with knives for years?
That was,
blah, blah,
oh my God.
blah.
That was an elected congresswoman.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that said something about, that wasn't a knife fight. No, you're right, because the other girl didn't have a knife. That was a slaughter.
It wasn't a knife fight, it was a knife attack.
Yeah. And then I saw people talking about, well, why couldn't you just shot her in the leg? Okay.
That's not how they're trained.
Everything that happened in less than 13 seconds.
Guess what? But she had already charged that girl.
Well, here's the thing,
Had he shot her in the leg, she still could have stabbed that girl.
Here's the thing, though. They teach the cops to shoot center mass because that is the part.
That's the largest part of the body.
It's the largest part of the body. Kind of hard to miss, especially when you're 10 feet away. And there's less of a chance of the bullet going through and hitting somebody that's behind her. Mm-hmm. That girl that was behind her. So you know, this cop, and I hate it for him, he's probably going to have to leave the state. Because motherfuckers won't listen and they don't give a fuck about actual justice. All they care about is fucking race baiting. But this cop's going to have to live with this for the rest of his life, just like anybody else that has to take a life. But he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, if he had not done right, I'd be the first to say so.
Yeah.
But,
you know what? I back the blue, but I will call them out if they do. If they're in the wrong.
I watched that video more than once.
Yeah, and they got two different views of it.
Yeah, and I don't see what he could have done differently, because one of the comments or videos that I commented on when I was like, that's not what happened. Watch the video for yourself. They were like, did this cop not have a taser? Yes, he did, but he had to stop the threat.
Yeah, and just like there was a cop in Georgia like 2 weeks before that guy that got shot 3 times while he was tasing someone. Tasers don't always work, and they don't stop gross muscle movement.
There are some people that they don't bother them at all.
Yeah.
If people are sufficiently like on drugs
or in a rage.
Yeah. Yep. Adrenaline and shit like that. I really...
Both prongs have to attach for it to work.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that can go wrong.
I just, like I said, I watch those videos over and over, and I don't see where he could have done anything different and ensured the safety of the other people.
And then you have these cocksuckers like LeBron James who posted a picture of this guy and said, you're next.
He needs to get fired and never work again.
But, and here's what I said about that. LeBron James, who is a worthless fuck, the only thing, he doesn't need to comment on social issues because he's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
He's an NBA player. He's worth
I know what he is.
$350 million, and he's a fucking moron who posits himself as a social justice warrior. The bitch is, even if he is canceled, he's worth almost $500 million.
It won't hurt him, yeah.
What's he gonna? I mean, there's nothing you can do to a fucktard like that.
I don't care. I'd still fucking fire him. Never let him play basketball again.
I would too.
Yeah, he posted a picture of the cop and said, "You're next."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not cool.
No, it's absolutely not.
You know,
because I mean, these guys. Here is what I predict. Especially if shit keeps going the way it's going. In one generation, we will not have a police force. Because everybody will be scared to be a fucking police officer. And if that happens, in 2 generations, we will not have a country. Because you have to have laws, and you have to have people that are willing to enforce them. And if nobody's willing to enforce them, you don't have laws. And if you don't have laws, you don't have a society, and you certainly don't have a fucking country.
You know, it boggles my mind. Like, again, I know that there are problems. We see the problems that happen. Derek Chauvin, he needed to go to jail.
Yeah.
He's going to jail.
Actually, Derek Chauvin should have never been on the job because he had a lot of fucking
he should have been
complaints against him.
Didn't he have like 17?
Yeah,
15
complaints. You get a complaint, you get in a complaint. But when you've got...
Yeah, you've got over a dozen complaints, there's a fucking problem.
There's that much smoke, there is a fire somewhere. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we need to do better there. We need to train them better. We need to... Once they're a cop, we need to hold them accountable. And if they do exhibit problematic behaviors, they need to be cold.
At the same time, and I agree with absolutely all of that. At the same time, what we don't need to do is hyperanalyze something that happened in 13 seconds
No, I'm not talking about
for fucking
that.
2 weeks.
I'm not talking about that.
Oh, well, I know, but we've seen that happen over and over and over again.
I'm talking about situations like with Chauvin where he had 17 complaints. Come on. He should have been pulled off the streets a long time before he ever got a chance to execute that hold on George Floyd, because he had obviously, clearly exhibited problematic behavior before.
Yeah, definitely.
So he
should have been a mall guard.
It's just like what we talked about, I think the last time we talked about this. There are good cops. There are bad cops.
Yeah, definitely.
But there are 2 types of people that want to be in law enforcement.
People that want power and people that want to help.
There are people that want to, they want to do good. They want to help. They want to be a part of the solution. And then there are people that are just looking to have a big power trip.
The high school bullies and the people that want justice.
Yeah, and then we got to do better on weeding out those people and getting more of the people that want to be the helpers. And I know too many people myself that are in law enforcement or wanted to be in law enforcement that are the helpers, that are the people. So I don't believe the people that say, all cops are bastards, and I don't believe that. I believe when you take any group, I don't care if it's doctors, pilot, there are going to be people that abuse their power